Welcome back to Business Unconventional. I'm co-host Dean Rothbard. David Biondo is on assignment. So I have the pleasure of interviewing the two guests we have with us in the studio today. They are Rita Crompton and Alan Lane, and I will introduce them in good time. But Rita, most of you know as the Inventor Lady. She has been with us multiple times now. Rita, you may be the most frequent guest we've had. Isn't that nice?
I like that.
You know why we have you on so often?
Because I'm unconventional?
Well, you are unconventional, but you're very talented, you're very smart, and you have helped an enormous number of inventors and entrepreneurs succeed. I'm very impressed with what you do. You are, of course, the organizer of the Inventors Roundtable, which meets on a monthly basis. You have your own company, Flacuza. How do you like that? So
you did very well.
You've been on enough that I now said Flacuza correctly. Some cases you take a role with some of the companies that you're helping when they have an invention. You not only help them with all of the aspects of invention, but you actually sort of roll up your sleeves and get involved. And right now, officially, you are here wearing the hat as Director of Marketing for Sound in 3D. That is your official role on today's program. So
yes, it is.
Congratulations. How many business cards do you have?
I use just the one business card. But it was funny. I got out of the car the other day and I dropped a wad of business cards, and they were probably a dozen different cards that had my name on them with different logos as roles I've played over the last 8 years.
Give me a very quick recap. You just came back from a pet show on behalf of one of the clients who's going to be on our program. Just quickly, what happened there?
We went to the Global Pet Expo. It was a wonderful show for Tagabiner. They now have kind of grown up so that they are competing with products that have been in the marketplace for a little bit.
We've already taken this segment with them. We just haven't broadcast it. It's coming up very soon. So
it was a great show for them.
And they got a big order out of it.
Big orders. I had an email in my box wanting 1,000 Tagabiners.
Well, I think when people hear more about sound in 3D, you're going to get some big orders for that. You've got a crowdsourcing fundraising event coming up. We're going to talk about that. But let's just talk about sound in 3D. The challenge here on the radio is that sound in 3D is very much a tactile product, and you can't feel anything on the radio. But did you see the Howard Stern movie originally called Private Parts?
No.
Well, people in the studio, Jason, have you seen Private Parts? What is the matter with your cultural references? You haven't seen Woody Allen and Sleeper? In any case, he's trying to get his listeners to understand tactile radio. And what he does is go up to the speaker, put the speaker right up to your private parts. So I can't do tactile radio, but if we could, tell us about sound in 3D.
The easiest comparison is if you're watching a movie in 3D, the characters come right out of the screen at you. And sound in 3D allows you to actually feel the sounds. You know, we're used to the idea of the big bass and it vibrates and everything. Now imagine that you can hear every note, every sound in it. You can even actually hear silence.
I have seen a few videos that are up on YouTube that help demonstrate this technology. But in essence, you put your hand or some other part of your body, you actually put your hand on a mound, something that looks like a mound.
It's really fairly simple as far as what you, the consumer, would be doing. You would plug this into your computer, your iPod, your iPhone, your TV, anything like that, and then you can use it with the little speakers on your hands. You could have a waistband that it plugged into so that you would, gamers especially, where they're using their hands and with their mouse or whatever, would put it around their back. You could use it as a foot cushion. All right, so there's multiple ways that you could use this, and it will be fairly inexpensive. I mean, everybody in the family could have one, particularly with soldiers. They don't now have.
Well, we're going to get there in 1 minute.
Okay.
We're going to introduce
I'm excited.
Alan is here with us. He is a Marine Corp veteran. He is really a wonderful person. He has been through a lot, and this product is helping him. We're going to get there and introduce you in just a minute. I just want to take it back for a minute before we do. This is an invention of Robert Bob Ledon, who is an artist and inventor in Colorado Springs. So this is a local Colorado homegrown product. It is in its early stages, and you are going to be launching in March a crowdsourcing campaign on Indiegogo.
Indiegogo will be our platform. It is a fairly well-known crowdfunding platform.
It is very well known. And people who see the potential in this and want to help Robert and some of the other people who are involved see this product get widespread manufacture and distribution will be encouraged to do that. We will have plenty of links and details at the smallbusinessdrivescolorado.com website. You can go to smallbusinessdrivescolorado.com. You can register to get our free weekly newsletter. It comes with coupons. We might even have a coupon to encourage you to contribute to Indiegogo. Bob Ladon invented this. You are the inventor lady. He looked to you to help market it. It clearly has entertainment value, but your first campaign, what you're going to do on Indiegogo, has to do with post-traumatic stress syndrome. Is that what's called? PTS? Why does it D? Why is it
Disorder.
D? Disorder.
They should
Okay.
take the D out.
Disorder.
Yeah.
So introduce Alan and explain how he fits into this picture.
Alan is here with me today because we feel so passionate about being able to help the soldiers. And this is the first time that there's actually been something that helps that is not drug related or being hospitalized that can have a calming effect. And so Alan really is our spokesperson on this aspect of the invention. We really want to focus on it because so many people right now they're concerned about our soldiers and our heroes coming back and not being able to really acclimate into society easily. Alan, share with us a little bit about your experience and how you're able to use
Sound in 3D.
Well, I met Bob about 5 months ago, just a happenstance contact meeting with him. And he asked me what movies I like to watch, or what movies veterans like to watch. And I really don't have any idea except for the ones that I watch. But he brought me over to his home and had me sit in the chair, watch a movie with sound in 3D. And there was various movies I watched, and I was trying to understand what it was doing for me and doing to me. There was something different about my experience of what I was watching and what I was listening to. The biggest thing, I think, was when I was watching The Hurt Locker, which references the bomb squad guy, that same job that I did when I was in the Marine Corps. The movie's not very well done. But anyway, it normally bothered me watching that movie. And I got bored halfway through and I turned it off. And I think it was because of the way the tactile sound system works. You're not caught up in your own thoughts and your own imaging about what's going on in the movie. You're just experiencing the sounds and the sights. You're remaining more present to what's going on, if that makes any sense.
Now, you have actually been working with a psychiatrist and professor, I guess, at the University of Colorado, who is looking at sound in 3D as a tool to help veterans such as yourself in dealing with PTSD.
Right.
You go in there, and what do you do during a session? There's a video, by the way, on YouTube, and I think the best way to do this is to look for sound in 3D and do a search for it. And you can actually see Alan. In some ways, it's a little bit painful, Alan, to watch in these sessions because you've had some traumatic. I mean, the T in PTSD is traumatic. It's not been easy for you. But Sound in 3D has provided you some help under the guidance of a psychiatrist. What happens in terms of how does this help you in therapy? We understand watching a movie, but how does this help you therapeutically?
Well, I've actually never sat down with Dr. Gary Martin, but my sessions have been with Bob, basically.
Okay.
The sessions I had previously with the psychotherapist, one of the sessions is called EMDR, eye movement desensitization reprocessing. And what it does is you tap alternately on your left and right palms while you re-experience the traumatic event. And it's supposed to help you reprocess the whole thing. What I found out with the sound in 3D is that it basically does that on a constant level. And you don't have to be thinking about anything traumatic. You just go through the experience of watching the film or listening to the music, but you have the benefit of the sensation going through your left and right palms, and you have that same benefit of what the EMDR does, which is...
From what I understand, it's often visual, right?
Right.
And this is something, so now you're adding a tactile
right.
sense to it. The other thing you pointed out is that sound in 3D does something, which I can't understand directly, that actually you believe may heighten a soldier in the field, somebody on the bomb squad, their sense of acuity, therefore may have the ability to actually save lives. Explain that.
Well, I think that's the biggest part of the sound in 3D as far as veterans go, just in general. The hypervigilance that you have when you're in combat is something that you bring home with you as well, and you can't just turn it off. But with the sound in 3D, what it helps you do is become just as vigilant. It takes the hyper part of it out of it. You can be much more aware of sounds and textures and smells, but it's not on such a hyper state that you have to decompress from it when you get back from combat. Could have a big influence, important influence, and life-saving influence on not just the bomb squad individuals, but people in the infantry and other people that are out on the front line, so to speak.
They might hear something a fraction of a second sooner or hear something that they otherwise might not have heard. They might see something in their peripheral vision that gives them an alert that otherwise they might have overlooked. You're thinking that this basically increases a user's ability to sense
your surroundings, what we call it in the military, situational awareness, because there's so much you have to be aware of in a combat environment, and it's almost impossible to take in everything that's around you. I'm not saying this would be a silver bullet, so to speak, but I know just for myself, I know it would help.
I think the really important piece to keep in mind with the sound in 3D is when you're watching a video that's in 3D, it's still only your vision that you are engaging. And with sound in 3D, you've got 3 senses now that are engaging. You've got your hearing and your sight, but you also now are using touch, and it makes then a situation or a circumstance have a much broader and exaggerated experience.
Well, as is true with so many inventions, oftentimes the marketplace will tell us what the best use is of the product. I think this sound in 3D has potential in the entertainment industry. It has potential therapeutically, and I think it has potentially militarily in terms of as a training and preparation device. It will be fun to see. What I recommend people do, because we are out of time for this segment, but I recommend that they go to smallbusinessdrivescolorado.com, look for more information on sound in 3D, go to YouTube, enter in sound in 3D, the number 3D, or enter in Rita Crompton. That's easy to remember, R-I-T-A, Crompton, C-R-O-M-P-T-O-N. You can even enter in Alan's name, Alan Lane, and sound in 3D, and view the videos, get some feel for this. We'll have more about this product in the weeks and months ahead when it becomes more available and there's some other showings for it. But we'd like to have this early preview. So, Rita and Alan, thank you for taking the time very much to come in and give us a preview of an exciting new technology that I am sure we are going to hear lots about. And when I say hear lots about, I mean feel it as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being here.